everyone, it's Miss Cox here. Hope you're all well and looking after yourself and your families and you're happy and you're staying smiley and positive. I'm here today because I wanted to share some more of Anna Hibiscus with you. Now, myself and Mrs. Bowie, we're going to be doing reading parts of this story where one of us reads and then another one of us reads and then so vice versa. So we're both reading parts of this story to you together. So I'm going to read on from when Mrs. Bowie finished off in her last piece. So, at the beach, the boys wanted to crawl into the sea. The waves shot up their noses and splashed salt water in their eyes. They spluttered and choked and coughed. Anna's father took them to play under the trees. "You go and splash yourself, Anna Hibiscus," he said. "I will stay here with your brothers." Anna was not at all sure about splashing in the sea by herself. What if one of those big waves came along and drowned her? There would be no uncle or auntie to save her. She put one toe in, but there were no cousins to be brave with. Anna Hibiscus could hear Double and Trouble shouting and struggling. They wanted to crawl back into the water. They were not afraid. Anna's father dug a big hole in the sand, big enough for Double and Trouble to sit in and play. Too deep for the boys to climb out. "You stay with them now, Anna," said her father. "I am going to swim." Double and Trouble cried and screamed. They rubbed sand into their eyes and screamed louder. Anna sat with them in the hole. Her father's head was a black ball in the waves. A black ball getting smaller and smaller. Just before it disappeared, it began to grow big again. Anna's father swam back with an idea. He and Anna Hibiscus lifted the boys out of the hole and pointed them in the direction of the sea. Anna and her father ran down to the waves with Double and Trouble crawling eagerly behind them. They had time to splash and swim a little before the boys reached the water. Then Anna and her father helped them paddle before carrying them back up to the trees to start again. Double Trouble loved it. Anna Hibiscus and her father did this many, many, many times until they were too tired to do it anymore. Back at the beach house, Anna Hibiscus's mother was tired too. She had swept up all of the cockroaches. She had dusted away all the cobwebs. She had unpacked all the boxes and bags. She had walked all the way to the market to buy food and walked all the way back again. She had cooked the food. Everybody was cross and tired. Everybody was hot and sticky. Everybody had a shower, ate food and went to bed early. Everybody was asleep in 1 second. Half an hour later, Double and Trouble woke up. They were again hot and sticky. Their teeth were paining them. They were awake and angry. Anna Hibiscus's mother and father walked the baby boys up and down for hours while they screamed. Anna Hibiscus lay in her bed. She had nobody to sleep with. She missed her aunties. She missed how they took it in turns to rock sleepless babies. She missed how they sang and talked and made jokes and laughed no matter how loud the babies cried. Now Anna could hear only the waves and her brothers screaming. The next morning, Anna Hibiscus's father was so tired he could hardly speak. Anna Hibiscus's mother was so tired she cried. The boys were full of life. They crawled everywhere fast. Double pulled the tablecloth and cups of tea spilt and rolled off the table onto the floor. Trouble crawled off the veranda and landed with a big bump on his head. Anna's mother said, "I can't face it." "You don't have to face it," Anna's father said, and he sent her back to bed. He watched Anna trying to stop her brothers from crawling off the veranda. He remembered yesterday. He could not face it either. Anna Hibiscus's father found the scarf and attached Double Trouble to the table leg. He set Anna to watch them. "I go come," he said. "Where?" asked Anna. "I go to fetch aunties. Quick, quick," he said. Anna Hibiscus smiled a big smile. Later that morning, the aunties arrived, 6 of them. They came with baskets of food. They came with little cousins who still needed them, but no big cousins. They came with cuddles for Anna Hibiscus and many, many questions. When they saw Double and Trouble attached to the table leg, they shouted and ran to loose them. Each boy was tied onto an auntie's back to keep him out of mischief. They went into the kitchen and started to cook. Good smells spread all around, along with laughing and singing. Anna's mother woke up. She stood, blinking at the top of the stairs. She looked as if she did not know whether to laugh or to cry. "Sister," one of the aunties called, "our brother confused your babies with the goats and tied them to the table." Anna's mother started to laugh and to cry. She came to greet the aunties and they embraced her. "It is not good to be alone," Anna heard them whisper. "We have to help each other. A husband and 3 children is too much for one woman alone." That night, everybody was happy. The next day, the aunties and Anna Hibiscus's mother cooked and cleaned and washed clothes because they needed to. They splashed in the sea and sat talking on the beach because they were on holiday. They sang and joked because they were together, and all the time the little cousins were under their feet. Anna Hibiscus tried to play with them, but they were babies, and she could not look after all of them. There were no big cousins to distract them, and no one else for them to follow around. The little cousins whined and howled, they grizzled and growled, because that's what little children do. Anna Hibiscus was fed up with them. By the end of the day, the aunties and Anna Hibiscus's mother had had enough. Back at the beach house, they looked at Anna's father. "Today you sit down," they said. "Tomorrow you supervise this ramble." Anna Hibiscus's father looked at the ramble. He'd had a lovely, quiet day eating the delicious food that the woman had prepared and reading his newspapers. The rabble was snotty and sticky and cross. They scratched one another and they pulled each other's hair. "Tomorrow I will be here," he said. Then he quickly walked out of the house and disappeared down towards the beach. Tomorrow he was there. He was there, and all of the big cousins that had been left behind were there to help him. Anna's father supervised the big cousins, supervising the little cousins over the top of his newspaper. The aunties and Anna's mother laughed and sighed and shook their heads. Anna Hibiscus splashed and swam and ran and played with all of her cousins. It was the best day so far. That night, the woman talked and joked together. The babies slept. The big cousins played their big cousin games. Anna's father sat alone. He had no one to discuss the newspapers with, no one to smoke his pipe with. Anna came and laid her cheek on his knee. "I am outnumbered, Anna Hibiscus," he said. "You need the uncles," she said. The next morning the uncles were there. The women shrieked with surprise and laughed. Anna's father looked very pleased with himself. It was another good day and another good night. But there came a day when everybody was annoyed and irritated. Nobody could agree. Anna's mother looked at Anna's father. He disappeared down towards the beach. When he returned, grandmother and grandfather were with him. Grandmother and grandfather had lived so long. They had become so wise and so calm that anybody who was with them was happy to accept their last word on everything. There was no need to quarrel. Harmony was restored. Anna Hibiscus splashed in the sea with her big cousins. She chased her little cousins along the beach. She sang with her aunties and ate their good food. She laughed with her uncles and her father. And she listened to her grandmother and grandfather tell stories. All together again, Anna Hibiscus's family had the happiest holiday they had ever had. And Anna's mother, Anna's mother, she had a very happy holiday too. So in the end, actually it worked out because everybody came together, which is really nice. They were all able to be together as a family. Right, so that's the end of that chapter, which I will tell you what it was called again. So that chapter in this book was called And a Hibiscus on Holiday. Okay, so myself and Mrs. Bowie have read that. I will leave it to the next chapter or part of the chapter for Mrs. Bowie to read to you. And I really hope you enjoy it. And keep looking after yourself. Make sure you're staying fit and healthy. Make sure you're challenging yourself throughout the days. And more important, look after yourself and make sure you're smiling every day. Something to smile about. I'll see you soon, okay? Goodbye.